So, hello guys and welcome to another one of my videos. Hope you're doing well. And today we're talking about rigging your sail. And then specifically, I'm gonna show you how I rig my Point-7 F1 SL 90. I'm gonna show you how I rig it, and then I'm gonna give you some tips about how to rig it better and tune it better so you get the maximum performance out on the water. Let's go. So, first, obviously unroll the sail. Make sure it unrolls all the way so you don't have to push the mast hard through it. Shove the top part of the mast on top of the inner sleeve. Connect the mast, make sure there is as little of a gap as possible in between the two parts, and put the mast as long as it goes easily in. Then switch to the middle of the sail, grab the mast, grab the sleeve, and continue pushing it all the way in. Once you have the mast in, you just go to the top, and you need to make sure that the tip of the sail, the plastic one, goes into the top of the mast. So you push it to the middle, the tip, you grab the mast, and you pull it backwards and straighten it out. Just like that. So then come back to the bottom and make sure there is some space for the extension. Then measure your extension up against the extension measuring point up here. Make sure that it's at least very, very close to what it's supposed to be. Shove the extension in. Then tension the sail so that roughly the blocks are 4 big fingers away from the bottom. That's kind of the place that I use. And go on to put on the cambers. How do I do that? Let's switch a sail. So my right hand goes pretty near the second batten from the bottom, second camber from the bottom. The left hand goes on as deep as it can over the batten and over the camber. I press down the left hand, pull up the right hand, and put the knee on the edge of the camber and push it in. After this, I switch. The left hand goes onto the camber, onto the mast. Right hand slides in deep, pushes down, and push with the knee to get the camber on. Go to the bottom camber, grab the extension, put in the left hand onto the batten, push down with the left hand, and place the knee under the camber and slightly push it in. Go down and give it a little bit more tension. I don't give full tension just yet, and then I go on to put the boom on. Why do I do that? Well, I just like having a little bit more space around the boom sleeve, around the boom cutout. Once you fully downhole the sail, then this area gets all tight and it's harder to put on the boom. So I like to put on the boom before applying full downhole tension. Place the boom to your preferred height position. Basically, with the foil sails, it's the same as with any other sails. The higher you go with the boom, the more power you get, the earlier you get planing, and the lower you go, the more control you get. As for the outhole clue position, as you can see, we have 3 separate holes here. I choose between the middle hole and the top hole. depending on the conditions for the day. If it's really minimal wind conditions and I'm not sure if I'm gonna get planing, or if planing through is the most important thing, then I'll go for the top clue position, and then I use 234 centimeters on the boom. And if I go for the middle position on the boom, when the wind is stronger and I want better release from the sail, better acceleration, better top speed, then I go for the middle hole, and then I use 230 centimeters on my boom. Give a little bit of tension through the boom, or not, it's not necessary, and go back down to fully downhole tension the sail. Once you fully downhole the sail, take the rope, roll it up, and put it into this little pocket right here, so it's out of the way. Then put on the tack strap. This is really important to make sure that the bottom of the sail is stable and the wind does not escape through the bottom of the sail, but just flows through the sail and gives you nice power. And finally, we go and tension the outhole fully. And if needed, adjust the boom height to your preferred position. Close the sleeve, and you're done with rigging the sail. So, some tuning tips for the sail. So basically, first of all, downhole. Once I found a good downhole position, I'm barely adjust it or don't adjust it at all. So once I found a nice place where the sail opens up, I feel it accelerates nicely and still stable in the hands, I pretty much always rig to that specification and play around maybe within a half centimeter of a range down there. Then the places where I really play around a lot is around the boom. While sailing, I'll adjust the outhole system a lot. Basically, if the wind drops a little bit, I'll release the sail. It definitely gets a lot deeper, the profile, and you can keep going, keep flying a lot longer. If the gust comes, I'll pull the outhole on, the sail becomes a lot flatter and goes faster through the air. So yeah, I play around with outhole a lot. Then the harness lines. Basically, yeah, if I'm really underpowered, I'll reduce the harness lines length a lot. So basically I'll have 28 to 34, I'll go 28, or sometimes I even have two sets of harness lines and I'll hook on to like 22, 24, something like that, especially if I need to go slightly upwind. In really underpowered conditions, short harness lines help to keep the power driving through the sail and into the board a lot for me personally. So I play around with the harness line length so much. And then on the other side, yeah, if I get fully powered up and I want to have a little more control and to be able to push for more speed, then I'll release the harness lines all the way to 34 inches and I'll then have much more control and much more speed as well. And finally, the boom height. That also goes a little bit with the wind conditions. If the wind is really light, then I'll push it all the way to the top, and that helps me to get planing a lot earlier. And then if I get powered up nicely, I'll push the boom back down. Don't go lower than anywhere my chest height if I'm really powered up. Of course, if I need to survive, basically if I'm stuck out on the water for some reason and it's suddenly blowing 25 knots and I'm on the 9.0, I'll go lower even. That really helps you in survival conditions, like lowest boom and longest harness lines. But yeah, in general, not lower than my chest, and I go as high as the mast sleeve allows me to. So that's my tips for tuning the sail. If you want to tune the battens, check out the specific video for that on Point-7 page. It will explain much better than I can. And yeah, I hope that was useful to you guys. Let me know if you have any questions about tuning and using this sail or any other Point-7 sail which I'm using, so AC1s or F1 SLs or FW. And that's about it for today. Make sure you let me know what kind of other equipment reviews you'd like to see on this channel, and see you next time with an action video. Adios.